Yesterday, I told you that in the wake of the Parkland, Florida school shooting, Dick's Sporting Goods was going to raise its gun buying age to 21. They were or are going to remove assault style rifles from its stores, and they're also getting rid of high capacity magazines. It's a great change, although, like I said yesterday, they're not doing it at their sister store, Field and Stream, which I actually think is more sort of like the gun enthusiast store. But okay, it's a change and they're making it, and I think it's the right change. Walmart now is also going to be making changes to its gun sales policy. They are going to stop selling guns and ammunition to people under age 21. They already, you might recall that back in 2015, Walmart stopped selling certain rifles, including the AR-15, in its stores. And it's also going to be removing kids' toys that resemble assault-style rifles from its website. Okay, that one seems more like a PR one than anyone that's going to be sort of practically applicable. But okay, Walmart put out a statement about this. They said it is because of the recent events, meaning the Parkland, Florida shooting. I actually think that there's something else at play here. It's because of the outcry as a result of the recent events. There have been school shootings before, and stores like Dick's and Walmart don't always change their policy. This is not because of the event. This is because of the activism that has been triggered by the event in Parkland, Florida, including by kids. And we may not get comprehensive background checks. Florida might well decide that they're going to arm teachers. But I would argue that already the activism that we've seen after this shooting has catalyzed more change on guns than we've seen in a long time. A lot of it from the private sector, right? Companies making changes to policy. And yeah, like I said yesterday, a lot of these changes are for PR. They are calculated business decisions more than moral decisions. That doesn't mean that they're the wrong decisions. And as a result, I still support it. Now, that's the good of it, right? It's not all waterfalls and sunshine and ginger snaps. The truth is that in many places, Walmart really doesn't sell that many guns. Yeah. Online, there were Walmart employees noting that in 2018, in their particular store that they work in, only like a handful of firearms have been sold. It's still a good thing that Walmart is doing this, but the truth is that a lot of these places, Dick's and Walmart, are not like the go-tos for firearms, and that Walmart and Dick's doing this isn't going to reduce the demand for these firearms. And if anything, could be the opposite. We know that when people become worried that they're not going to be able to get a certain type of gun, they go out and buy it. And actually, these headlines, even though I believe that it's the right policy at the micro level, at the macro level, it could create a run on these guns from your local gun stores. We know that under President Obama, the constant fear-mongering from the right about Obama coming to take your guns actually led to record gun sales. And of course, Obama never took anybody's guns. And of course, not to be repetitive, even though these assault-style rifles are commonly used in the mass shootings that we see, most gun deaths are single or double homicides that get very little media attention, and they're committed with handguns, which no one is talking about paring down the sales of at all.
I'd have to imagine that most gun sales happen at these small, locally owned places.
That's
I
my
can't
sense.
think of any big chain like an Ammo's R Us out there.
No.
And so those small, locally owned places don't really have to deal with PR as much as these retail giants.
No doubt.
So is there really an incentive for them to raise the age from 18 to 21?
No.
Probably not. So I don't think this is going to make a big difference in the net.
No, and it's particularly not going to make a big difference. Look, and I want to be careful how I say this. Every mass shooting is a major tragedy, right? When 12 people die in a mass shooting, that is 12 times the death that we see in a single homicide. However, just to give you a sense of the numbers, since the Parkland, Florida shooting, which was 15 days ago, right? February 14th was the Parkland, Florida shooting, which killed 17 people and injured, I believe it was 15. In the time that has elapsed since the Parkland, Florida shooting, 495 people have been killed by guns, and another 85 have been injured, right? Since 17 died in Parkland, Florida at the hands of an assault rifle, 495 people were killed, mostly by handguns. Most of the incidents were one or two people who died. A handful of incidents had 3 or 4 people that were shot dead. So the decision by Dick's and Walmart is a good decision. I support the decision. But I do believe that this is not going to decrease gun sales in the net. I think it's probably going to increase them, and I don't believe that it deals with the broader problems, which are far-reaching, as I've talked about many times: cultural, background checks, mental health, availability, et cetera, et cetera. And by the way, on the age 21 thing, for the most part, the shootings aren't being done by people under age 21 anyway, right?
Sure.
I agree that you shouldn't be able to buy a gun if you're under 21. But mostly it's people older than 21 that are committing these horrible acts. I am not criticizing the decisions. I am not saying that they are bad decisions. What I'm saying is this is very, very complex and multifaceted, and this is the tiniest part of the problems at hand.
When we talk about making a change on the government level,
Yeah.
I don't think there would be anything unconstitutional about changing the age from 18 to 21.
No.
I mean, if you remember, for the longest time, the voting age was 21 until like the 1970s.
Yep.
So I think they could get away with that without any Second Amendment issues.
Well, they could get away with it without any actual Second Amendment issues.
Comes
But
to
of
course.
course, you would see the Second Amendment fetishists absolutely lose their you-know-what if this was attempted. So anyway, those are my thoughts there, and we'll see if other big companies come out and make similar changes. Today's episode of the show is made possible in part by Brilliant, which is really an amazing website that lets you engage in fun and interesting problems and puzzles to learn more about really important stuff: math, science, engineering. The community aspect of Brilliant is great. There's over 5 million members. They're bringing together the knowledge and experience of their students, their educators, the professionals around the world that develop a lot of the hands-on learning problems that you will work through. And learning with a community makes a huge difference, right? When you use Brilliant, you're part of that 5 million member community. They share your curiosity and love for math and science. And the community at Brilliant also supports your learning because you build a connection with the subjects you're learning by interacting with other people studying the same material. You can get started right now by signing up for free at brilliant.org/David Pakman. First 200 people who visit brilliant.org/David Pakman will get 20% off an annual premium membership. That is brilliant.org/David Pakman. Support us by supporting Brilliant.